Hi YouTube, this is Zayla Hayes, and I wanted to make a video about something because something was on my mind and I went to sleep thinking about it, and now I woke up and I'm still thinking about it, and I'm like, it has to be other people that is experiencing this too. So let me get on YouTube and try to see if I can connect with some people. So basically, this video is going to be about my spiritual journey. Um, Before I get into the video, let me just say that my baby is like hype is I don't know what. So yeah, he's going to be in and out here, probably goo goo gaga, and he's very spoiled. I done spoiled my son, so you probably going to hear a little whine every now and then because he's going to want to get up here on the bed with me. So don't be alarmed. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one with kids. If it bothers you, just get off. But yeah. Anyways, I started my spiritual journey 12 years ago. 12 years ago, I started my spiritual journey. I started it when I was 16. Um, Most of my life has been, well, not most of my life, but the beginning of my life was rough. Um, I was raped by my mom's boyfriend when I was 3, 4, and 5. My mom left my father when I was 2, so she got with this guy named Michael Crawley, who used to take advantage of the fact that my mom takes medication. And when she would get tired or whatever, he'll come in the room with me and do things to me. Um, we moved back with my father when I was 6. Mind you, when we was with Michael Crawley, he was a church going man. I'm talking about Christian. I'm talking about every Sunday we was in church with him in his family's church. Um, we was always in church with him. We were always going on trips with the church. Like we went to King's Dominion. We'll go out to eat with his church. I mean, like he was a church going man, a Christian. His family was a Christian, but behind closed doors, he was raping me. So when we got to my father, my mom left Michael. And we moved back with my father when I was 6 years old. um I was pretty much traumatized. Let's just say that. Like, I was only in the world for like a few years and I've already experienced things that would damage a 20-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Like, rape is never good. So I was pretty traumatized. Got with my father, and I noticed immediately that my father was not as Christian as Michael was. We wasn't going to church every Sunday. We wasn't going to Bible study. We wasn't, going on trips and things like that with the church. Like, it was just always work, school, home. Like, he'll go to work, I'll go to school. Then we're home. Like, he never talked about the Bible. We never watched, like, preachers or nothing on TV. Like, it, you rarely heard my father say anything about the Bible. So I noticed that change immediately. um so we did some moving. We moved from one town in Virginia to another town. Then we ended up moving to a whole new state. um I kind of think it's because Michael had got out of jail, because he only got 7 years for what he did to me. So I honestly think that's one of the reasons why we moved to a whole different state. But so we moved to a whole different state. So I'm away from my family, you know. And that was a big transition for me because I was always used to seeing my family, being around my family, seeing them every other weekend, spending holidays with them. And it went from that to I'm in this state. I don't know anybody. There's no family, you know. And so I got used to it. And when I was like 15 or 16, I just got this strong urge to find God, I can't explain it, but I just got this strong urge to find God. And cuz I realized at an early age that I was depressed. I was very depressed. I know my father, my mom, they used to always be like, "Oh, all Zayla does is sit in her room all day. She doesn't come out. She doesn't talk to us." Well, mostly because my father and my mom was heavy smokers, and just walking through the house was like unbearable, just smelling the scent of cigarettes. But I mean, that was only like a small reason why I didn't come out the room. I didn't come out the room because my mind was in everything that I've experienced. And in the process of me and my mom going back to my father, I was going to counseling. So once we got back with my dad, the counseling stopped. So I never really had the proper treatment to cope with the things that was done to me. So I used to just sit in my room all the time. I used to be hateful, just lash out, like the littlest things would irritate me. Um and I was just depressed. Like I didn't understand where my life was going. Like first I get raped, next thing I know I'm in West Bubble F and don't know where I am. Like it's crazy. So I started my spiritual journey because I realized at that moment that I needed God, and I knew that I couldn't live the life that I wanted to without him. So I seeked out to find him. So my old friend, she was a church going girl. And I started going to church with her. And I remember I just got this idea. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it because I never was baptized. I was like, I'm going to get baptized. So I got baptized, and my father never knew about that, but my mom did. I ended up telling my mom, but my father never knew I had got baptized. So I ended up getting baptized, and then I found out that the girl that was a church going girl, and she was getting me into like Bible studying and things like that. I found out that she was messing with my boyfriend at the time. So mind you, this is supposed to be my best friend, and then I found out that she was going behind my back messing with my boyfriend. So I stopped going to church with her. And I just thought to myself, like, is everybody that is into like the Christian thing, is everybody like low key evil or crazy, or like, I don't know. I know people are people. I know people make mistakes and things like that. But I mean, it was just weird to me. I'm like, here is this church going girl. I thought she was cool. And the whole time she was messing with my boyfriend. That's crazy. So, I stopped going to church with her. But I ended up getting this new friend who was a Jehovah's Witness. Now, I never really wanted to get into the Jehovah's Witness thing, but I do believe that some things that they talk about, Christians talk about. So I didn't want to just tell her, don't come to my house. I don't want to talk about the Bible with you. So she came to my house and we was talking or whatever. And it was nice talking to her. We're the same age or whatever. And I think we was like 16, 17. So she was quoting the Bible, but she got something out of the Bible wrong. And my father, he was standing in the kitchen because we were sitting at the kitchen table. So he was standing in the kitchen and he was just listening. And when she got it wrong, he corrected her. And he ended up saying the whole scripture, the whole page. Like he cited it without looking. And I'm just was blown because I'm like, wait, you know this stuff? I could have been coming to you. You know this stuff? So I was just like, what in the world? And so after she left, I was like, Dad, I didn't know you knew the Bible. And he was like, yeah, I grew up in the church. And I'm just like, okay, well, you never wanted to share any type of information with me? Like, why don't we go to church or anything? Like, I mean, it was to the point that if my mom plays a gospel song, he will come in the room or wherever she is and be like, excuse my French, but he would be like, turn that shit off. And she would turn it off. So I always thought like my dad was like an atheist or I don't know. But it just alarmed me that this man just quoted the whole thing. Like I could have been talking to him the whole time. That's crazy. So I never understood why he stopped going to church, especially like since he was raised in the church. Here I am, I was not raised in the church, and I'm seeking God, and here he is that he knows God and he's not going to church at all. So fast forward to me being in college. I started college back in 2009 and I was pretty excited. I was pretty excited and like I started college in August. My father passed away in September. So it was like as soon as I went to college, my father passed away. So I mean, it was like my mind just changed. Like I went from being oh, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't party, I just study, sit in my room, go to the library. I went from being that type of person to party, 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 let's all get wasted. Like I had gotten to a bad crowd. Um and to this day I wish I did not get into this crowd. Like if I could turn back the hands of time, which I don't regret anything, but if I can just change anything, like some things some people in college I would have never had dealt with. But I had turned into a person that I didn't even recognize. I was angry, you know, but at the same time, I feel like I'm talking everywhere, but I'm just speaking from my heart, so bear with me. At the time, I knew my father was gone. Like I knew that. I had the depression from that. That's why I'm drinking, I'm smoking, I don't want to go to class, nothing. But at the same sense, I realized drinking and stuff, like almost everybody I was drinking with or I was smoking with or something, they were all depressed too. They were all like, they've all been through some things. So it was like all of us hanging together, going through things. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I ended up leaving school. And I came back home to my mom, which my thought at the time when I was talking to her on the phone was, you're going to be able to live with me. So I'm thinking when I left school, I got somewhere to go. Come to find out, I didn't have anywhere to go. So I'm sitting here in a town that I've never lived in. I've been there to visit. It was, but I've never lived in this town, Mind you, we're back in our home state. So I've never lived in this town. So I don't know anybody in this town. Like, all I know is my mom lives here now. And my uncle. I got a few family. Um, but as for like the people around there, like I'm just not familiar like I was with the town that we was living in before my father passed away. So once I got there, my mom threw me like she basically threw me for a loop because she was just like, you can't live here. And I'm just like, wait, what? Why? She was like, because her boyfriend, he likes to walk around the house naked, and basically this is his house and he doesn't want to cover up and just all this stuff. So I'm just like, are you seriously like about to kick me out for the sake of your boyfriend that you've only been with for like a few months? So I'm in a town, I don't really know nobody. This is the first time, like my father's death is still new. I've never lived in a world without my father. And not only having to live in the world without my father, but now I have to live in a world without my mom too. You know what I'm saying? And my mom is in the same town, but she doesn't want me to live with her because of her boyfriend. So I'm just like, what in the hell? So I'm bouncing from house to house, house to house. I mean, you can just feel when people don't want you at their house. But, they let me sleep even if I was on a couch, if I was sleeping in the floor, whatever, I slept. So, that was like a hard time for me. Like, I already had like some grudges towards my mom for a past situation that happened when I was getting raped. And then for this to happen, like, are you serious? My father hasn't even been in the ground for like a full year, and I'm going through this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was crazy. And so as time was leading up, I started like my depression started to take a whole different toll. Like I got to the point that I was freaking suicidal. And it got to the point that it was so bad, like I just knew I was going to take myself out because it was like almost every day, all day. It was like something was just telling me to just take myself out. Like, you'd be better off not here. You'd be better off dead, da 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 da. Something was just constantly telling me to take myself out. And it was freaking crazy to the point that I felt like it was taking over me. And like I had to tell somebody. That's how overwhelming it started to be because I got scared. Like, I think I'm really about to take myself out. Like, I think I'm really about to go out like that. And I started telling my aunt, you know, I talked to my aunt about it. And sometimes I wish I didn't because, my aunt, every time I tell her something and I tell her don't tell anybody, she tells people. So if I ever vent, it's like because I really need to vent. You know what I'm saying? But then I remembered that now a lot of people know about this, in the family anyway. But and it's always taken out of context. Always. Like it's never told right, or they didn't they didn't I didn't said how I felt about something, and then it turned out to be something I didn't say, or I don't know. But I told her about it, and she, we walked around her neighborhood, and she told me that I'm going through a spiritual battle. She told me I was going through a spiritual battle. She was saying that it's bigger than me what I was going through. It was bigger than me. So I was like, you know what? You're probably right. I'm probably am going through a spiritual battle. So, I asked God again, please help me find you. Please take these thoughts out of my mind. Please take the depression away from me. Like, just help me. Like, help me find you. Help me be a whole new person. Help me come out of this. Help me rise from my ashes. Like, I don't want to continue to live in my sorrow, the things that I've been through, because I know the things that I've been through is not me. Help me find me. So once I said that, it was like I was able to control my suicidal thoughts. I was able to control my depression. But when I tell you, I didn't expect to come this far. Like, I thought when I told God to help me find him, I thought I was going to end up being this Christian church going, tithe paying woman. And here I am in African spirituality. I've had to, in my spiritual journey, I had to take time away from the people I was looking up to, you know? Like my aunt, I was looking up to her because she was a Christian, you know? I had to take time away from her. God made me get away from her for a while. My other family members that are Christian, I had to get away from them for a while. And not only because that they're Christian, I don't think that was it. It was more so because, you know, what you bury has to rise again. No matter what you've been through, whatever it is that then made you mad and you think is not bothering you, it really is. And it has to rise in order for you to heal. You might as well dig it up, because it's going to rise on its own, and you're going to have to face it in your spiritual journey. You're going to have to deal with it. So I've realized that comments that was made about my hair in the past, because, you know, my family used to always talk about my hair length or whatever. And I didn't realize how big of a toll those comments had on me. You know, I'm thinking like, people gonna talk, whatever. You know, whatever. Like, I look at my family, some of them I gotta talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not perfect. So I didn't realize that it was taking a big toll on me, but it freaking was. It was taking a really big toll on me. So I had to get away from them for a while, because I realized this is why I'm afraid to wear my real hair. This is why I feel like I always have to be weaved up, and I'm always relaxing my hair because of them always talking about how short my hair is. And, you know, I mean, I was hearing it since I was a little girl. Oh, Trina, your hair used to be longer than this, and da 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 da. Like, it's always about hair when you come around them. And then they always was like, well, my hair was all the way past my butt, but I never seen a picture with their hair being past their butt. You know, I seen a picture with their hair being like to their shoulder, but not past their butt, like they were saying. So, like, I always have to hear about hair. So I didn't realize how big of a toll that had on me. So I'm like, you know, when God showed that to me, I'm like, okay. So I backed away from them. I realized I had to take some time away from them. I mean, it was a lot. I mean, going on a spiritual journey, like, I didn't realize how deep this is. So, backing away from them, I was able to love myself, love my hair. As you can see, I done started it in locks. I'm like, what? I started in October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Like, going on 7 months locked. Yeah, like, it was crazy. So I had to get away from them, and I had to, like, really be in a self-love journey. Like, it went from, when it comes to them, it went from a spiritual journey to a self-love journey. So I had to face myself. I had to realize, you don't need that weave. You don't need them relaxes. You don't need that makeup. You is fine the way you is. You know, this is how you was born. When God created you, this is how he intended for you to look. You know, it's nothing wrong with your short hair. You know, it's nothing wrong with it. Like, love yourself. So now I do, you know, and I had to take time away. And now I do. Now I do love myself. I love my short hair and all, you know. Um, but taking time away from my family was like the hardest thing, because you can't just tell Christians, I gotta stop talking to you because I'm going on a spiritual journey, because they're gonna be like, oh well, what, come to church with me, because I can't tell them I've been led past Christianity. Like, I'm not even a Christian anymore. Like, how, then I'm gonna have to hear, oh, that's devil worship, or, that's witchcraft or something like that. I gotta hear that. So I can't just come out and be like, I'm on a spiritual journey. I can't talk to you at the moment. Like, because then you have to explain, and I didn't want to explain. So I just left it out there, that I'm just not talking to you. And whatever reason you think I'm not talking to you, you can have it, but it is what it is. But being on my spiritual journey, I've also realized just the decisions I was making in my life, like where I was working at, and like, you be conditioned to think, long as you're making good money, money is money, you should be fine. But once I started my spiritual journey, it was almost like I just gained this sense of, I need to find my purpose. I need to find my purpose. I've been put on this in this world for a reason. I have to find my purpose. I know I have a reason of being here. I have to find it. This isn't good enough for me. Me working at this warehouse is not good enough for me. It got to the point that I'm at work and I have like this huge unbearable urge to walk out, to just quit, to go to HR and be like, you know what? I quit. I'm out of here, you know? And I always fought the urge because I'm like, I got bills. I can't just walk up out of here, Lord. Higher power, God, I can't just walk out of here. I got bills. But he or it, the spirit was guiding me to walk out. It's like, no, I'm telling you, leave. Lord, I know you seen them bills on my table. I know you seen them bills on my table. I can't just leave, man. Like, I gotta pay my bills. Leave. So I left. I quit my job. And I feel happier, I feel happier. And I'm still like, even though like I'm making this video, I'm not done with my spiritual journey. And I know like when you see people that make videos about like spiritual journeys and things like that, it's like, you think that they're done, but I'm not done. Like, I'm still on it. I still don't know why I quit my job, All I know was it wasn't serving my purpose. I'm so confused right now. Like, I'm making this video and I'm in the middle of my spiritual journey. I didn't make this video to like give advice or whatever. I'm just making this video to connect with other people that's going through the spiritual journey. Like, I'm so confused right now because it was put in my heart to leave my job because I have a higher purpose. But I'm sitting here and I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to do next. I'm just like, what do I do? What do I do next? I'm just so confused. Like, this spiritual journey is like, wow. Like, it's powerful. And I know it's the real deal. And it's nothing like what I'm learning on this journey is Christianity couldn't have taught me this. You know what I'm saying? I've been to my aunt's church when I was trying to do the Christian thing. And I literally seen them in her office talking about this person in the church, how she was wearing her hair, like they was talking cash junk about this person. And I'm sitting there, because I am a very spiritual person. And a lot of people don't know that about me because I don't go to church all the time, But I'm a very spiritual person, very spiritual person. And I don't like talking about people, especially if we're supposed to be at church. Especially if we supposed to be at church. I'm sitting here in her office and I'm watching them talk about this woman's hair. And I'm just like, this can't be it, man. When, like, before I got into African spirituality, I used to just think to myself, like, this can't be it. This can't be it. Because I think deeper than this. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people that's in church, they're so low vibrational. You know, low vibrational. We are in church and you're talking about somebody's hair. Why does her hair even matter right now? Like, freedom. I believe in freedom. If I don't like her hair, I don't care. I'm not about to sit here and obsess over the fact that I don't like her hair. Her hair is her hair. She's free to wear her hair how she wants to. Maybe she looked in the mirror and she was like, dang, I look good today. Okay, she thinks she looked good. Can we get back to what we're supposed to be doing here? You know? I realize people in church are very low vibrational and I vibrate higher than that. And I just knew, like, this can't be it. I had the same guy that was talking about this woman's hair. He's the same one that looked me right in my face and told me I wasn't going to be anything like my aunt. And when I tell you my aunt, she just looked at him and she just smiled. And I realized that about my aunt. Like, she never really corrects people. You know, I know plenty of incidents where somebody done said something and I'm looking at her like, aren't you going to say anything? And she doesn't, you know. I remember, because my mom is like special. She's a special need person. And she says certain things. One thing that she say is like, yeah, or it's a certain way she say it. And my little cousins, they always thought that was funny and they always joked about that. Well, one of my cousins forgot that they told me that they joke about that, you know. And so they were standing in front of me, my aunt standing right there, and they did the little joke. And I instantly got pissed off because I'm like, why would you think that's funny to joke on a person with special needs? And I'm looking at my aunt, this grown person that's supposed to be like, y'all stop, you know, but I didn't get that reaction. She just stood there with a smirk on her face. So I'm just like, what? Like, so it didn't alarm me at all that when this guy was like, you're not going to be anything like your aunt. It didn't alarm me at all that she was just standing there smiling. Like, in a way, I was kind of like, you're not going to say anything. But my thing was, why did he think that I wanted to be anything like her? Like, admiring someone and wanting to be like them is two totally different things. I'm nothing like my aunt, and I am okay with that. I never wanted to be. I just admired her because she was a church-going woman, and me always being a spiritual person, I wanted to have that relationship with God. I wanted to be a church-going woman, you know, but God had bigger plans for me. So I'm sitting in church and I'm hearing them talk about this woman's hair, and I'm just like, this can't be it. This can't be it, because I don't feel empowered at all in here. I really don't. I just feel like I'm in a building with narcissists. People that would sit there and they'll talk about you and stuff and then act like they didn't do anything wrong just because they're church going people. This can't be it. This can't be it. You know, half of them don't even have a proper eating diet, you know? Like, I just knew it couldn't have been it. It just couldn't have been it, you know? So, yeah, I don't even know where I'm going after that. But I just knew Christianity couldn't have been it. I mean, I even tried to go to my other aunt church, but my little cousin was Snapchatting people and putting them on Snapchat talking about them, and I was just like, this cannot be it. Like, oh my God, this can't be it. Is this it? So, like, once I found African spirituality and I got into it and I read about it and I did my research and I done followed everybody that's into it on Instagram and I done watched all the YouTube videos, I feel right at home. I feel right at home. You know, I feel right where I need to be. And even though this journey is so hard, it feels so lonely, because how can you tell somebody, I'm into African spirituality without them looking at you as a voodoo goddess now, or they think you're going to put a spell on them or something. So I just keep it to myself, you know. But this is like the loneliest, best thing I've ever did for myself. Confusing, very confusing, but I'm pretty sure that it will all work out in the end. Um, but yeah, I just knew that Christianity was not for me. And I love the unity. Like, I love the unity in African spirituality. I love the fact that I'm able to connect with my ancestors. You know, my father that passed away that I wish I could talk to again. I'm glad that it's a way that I can still connect with him and still have him guide me, you know. Ancestors I haven't even met before, you know. I'm glad that I know them now. You know, they're guiding me, that they're helping me. Oshun, I did a video about Oshun, my encounter with Oshun, like the Orishas that has your back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just feel so empowered. Like, I haven't met one person that's in African spirituality that will sit here and judge somebody. You know what I'm saying? That will sit here and judge somebody. That will sit here, talk about people's hair, talk about people's shoes, talk about people, or just have a sense of I'm better than. You know what I'm saying? I haven't met one person in this spirituality that has a sense of I'm better than you. You know, like you do in Christian, you know, like if they see like sinners, they automatically think, I'm better. How dare them? You know that's a sin. Like, they automatically have to make you feel like they're superior to you or something like that. I don't know, but I just know I feel right at home. It's so high vibrational, you know, so high vibrational. And then, like, now when I see people, even though, like, I was already like that, if I see you talking about somebody, I just feel like, you know, you have to have some type of self-esteem issues, you know, to really be sitting here talking about somebody right now. But I mean, now I know that they're just low vibrating. They're low vibrational people. And yeah, that's basically all I wanted to make a video about was my spiritual journey. Hey baby. I know. And how hard a spiritual journey is. How confusing a spiritual journey is. How lonesome a spiritual journey is, you know, but it's worth it. Like, it's so worth it. I see myself in a whole different light, like a whole different light. And I would never ever let anyone put me in that space that I was in at first. I would never let them do that to me again, you know, ever. And you know, I'm going to teach my son how to never let them do that to him. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing I'm thinking about. I've been thinking about lately is how am I going to introduce this spirituality? I keep moving the camera. But how am I going to introduce this to my son, you know? But I see a lot of people that do it. And I want him to have a strong sense of himself, you know? So, yeah, that'll probably be the next video. Um, but yeah, that's basically all I wanted to talk about. I really appreciate you sitting on this thing with me for 38 minutes, you know, watching me talk all over the place. Please subscribe to me. If you like this video, please leave a comment, especially like if you're on a spiritual journey too. If you're deeper in this and you've already did the spiritual journey part, you're more mature in this, please comment and let me know how you've introduced this to your kids. Just enlighten me in a sense. How did you deal with lonesome, feeling lonely, kind of feel like you're going crazy? I thought that a couple of times. I'm like, am I going crazy? But I know I'm not. Let me know what you think down below. Peace.